it's Halloween Heartthrob, and today I'm gonna be showing you how to make some lapel pins using some polymer clay, which I am showing you here. I don't know if I show it, but I also use some paint and paintbrushes. These are the pin backings. I bought those from Amazon. They were like super cheap, and I have like 50 of them, 100, something like that. But they are the spiky and squeeze pin, no idea what they are actually called, but they're just pin backings. I have two different kinds of chain. I have the black one, and then I have a silver one that I use later on. Because we're using clay, I'll be using some liquid Sculpey and some Sculpey gloss glaze. I also have some tools to roll and mess with the clay. I'm working on some parchment paper so I don't mess up my surface and I don't transfer the stuff off my desk onto my clay. Also, something really important you should know if you're going to be using clay, and if you want your clay piece to look really nice, I highly suggest getting some rubbing alcohol and some low fiber Q-tips, because that will help get the fingerprints and little pieces of fuzz out of your clay. I didn't have any, so I had to kind of work without. Right now I'm just flattening my clay just to prep it. The first things I will be making are some bat wings. They are just kind of like chunky, silly looking. I wish I would have made them a little bit more detailed, but I might remake them later. So right now I'm just going to sketch the outline of the bat wing and then cut it out. Using the rest of the clay from what I cut away from the first wing, I will be rolling it out again and then putting the first bat wing on top to make the second bat wing. However, if I was you, I would probably use a pattern piece, like something that you've drawn on a piece of paper and cut out. That way you'll get a little bit more precise measurements. Also, don't forget to poke holes in the front of the bat wings so you can put some chain. This is optional, but I thought it would be cool to have like a little chain connecting them. Now I'll be taking some liquid Sculpey and putting some on the back of the pin backing so we can put it on the back of the wings. These will be fine to put in the oven because they're metal. Putting those aside, we'll be starting off with a new thing of clay for our next project. Starting off the same way as the bat wings, we will be pressing or rolling the clay down. If you have a spaghetti roller, this might be easier. But we are going to make a retro style telephone with like the little dial where you have to press down the number and pull it all the way down, and yeah. And also a phone, so they'll be separate, so the ringer will be separate from the actual thing that you hold to your face. And I'm going to lightly sketch it out with a sculpting tool. I have a reference photo off screen, but I thought this teal color was really pretty, and I kind of got like Betsy Johnson vibes, which I will show you later on in this video. This one I'll be relying heavily on paint. It's still a simple design, but I really wanted to just make it as flat as I could. However, feel free to make the actual dial part and the little hinges, I guess you would call them, the little things that hold the phone on top, 3D if you want. Of course, don't forget to put a little hole in the sides as well. Be a little bit aware of how big you make the surroundings around the hole in your piece. Don't make it too small where it's easily broken, but don't make it too thick where your little jump ring can't fit through. I mean, there are ways around it in bigger jump rings, but average size jump ring isn't too big. Once everything is finished sculpting, you will bake it according to package instructions, and you'll see why later that the phone does not have a pin backing. Now that everything is freshly baked and cooled, it's time to paint. We're going to set the phone off to the side and work on the fronts of the bat wings. See what I'm saying? That one's a little bit thicker than the other. You know what? It's okay. To start off, I will be painting the fronts and sides of the wings and then letting the pin kind of hold them up sideways just to let them dry. Once those are dry, I will be painting the back of the wings and then letting them completely dry, and then I'll move on to the phone. And we're going to start off by painting the little dial on the phone. Now, remember when I said I had some Betsy Johnson feeling? Just because of the turquoise color and uniqueness of the retro style phone, and plus I really like Betsy Johnson. I start off painting it like a regular phone, just doing the dial, and then I ended up painting the little nubs off to the side that hold the jump ring white, and I didn't like the look, so I'm like, how do I fix this? And I added black and white stripes to it, and it kind of gave me a little more of a Betsy Johnson vibe, and I'm like, oh, I can totally work with this. So then I continued to add a little bit more details, like adding numbers. Basically they're just little black dots onto the phone, and then I added a heart and then a rose on each one, which would just be a light pink and some white highlights on the phone itself. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Here's a little close-up just to kind of show you my progress, since it's a little bit hard since they're so tiny. I haven't finished the phone part of it. Once I'm finished painting, I'm going to use the Sculpey gloss. Don't do what I did and tilt it sideways to try to get a picture of it. Make sure your pieces are absolutely 110% dry before doing this step, because you could accidentally pick up some of the acrylic paint and smear it around, and that is not fun. Not at all. That's why, to be safe, I did the bat wings last, because they're all black, and if the paint smeared it would be fine because it would just be smearing into more black. Letting those all finish drying, I added a pin back to the phone using some E6000, and now I'm just going to add jump rings to each of the little holes of our projects. Once you have the jump rings on, it's time to add the chain, and for the bat wings I kind of wanted a high-low chain, so I'm just kind of trying to figure it out and how it would lay. You can, but you don't have to have two separate pieces of chain. I just did one long piece and hooked the two ends to one side, and then just messed with it to make sure once the bottom half would lay lower than the other one, and then just put the jump ring in on the other side. And there you go, your little bat wings are all done, and now I'm going to place them in my lapel. And it's super easy because it's just a regular pin, and you don't have to button your shirt up all the way, but I feel like if you have it like super wide open, maybe it'll help your shirt stay semi-closed depending on how long your chain is, but I wanted mine to drape a little bit. I admit wearing a black shirt might have not been the best way to show these off, but I feel like now that I'm actually looking at them through the video that they don't show up that bad. They more so look like black little clouds, so I do kind of wish I would have had them a little bit more detailed, but maybe next time. Now to show off the air quote Betsy Johnson phone, I really like the way this one turned out. I'm wearing it right now. I thought it was really, really cute. I wish I would have worked on the actual phone a little more. Ring ring, hello, it's for me. Oh, okay, goodbye. I don't know why I did that, please ignore me. As you can see, I also added a pin backing to the phone itself. I'm super happy with the way they both came out. Thank you so much for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on all of my things and my social media and Etsy and all that, and I'll see you guys in another video. Bye! I'd like to take this moment to thank my patron, Maggie. Patreon is a place for me to be able to upload all sorts of things that I normally couldn't on YouTube. Also, it's just a great way to help support me and my art. Once again, thank you so much, and please feel free to check out my Patreon and all the things it has to offer, which will be down below.